Mark Larsen here for the Dreamcatcher Podcast. Thank you for joining us. My guest is,
You almost had it. Kenna Griffith.
yes, so had to throw you this time. So, Andy Griffith, no. No. Actually, this is take two.
Yeah,
So we're really going to know this.
Yes.
But welcome to the Dreamcatcher Podcast. And I guess practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
So at least we don't have to worry about the internet.
I'll tell you, I've never listened to a podcast.
Haven't you really?
I have
Okay.
no idea what to expect here.
Okay, it's
So-
basically what we've been doing. So
So-
this time we don't have to worry about it going off. So,
Yeah.
so we are in Clay Center, Nebraska, with your store here
Yep.
named Three Pink Elephants,
Yep.
and you have another location in Hastings, Nebraska, and that's actually where we first met,
Yes.
and which is tied onto an awesome store there too, the wine and cheese place. So, how long has this store been open? This one in Clay Center.
I bought the building last year.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yep.
And you don't live here in Clay Center? You live.
Nope. I live in Hastings.
Okay.
So
You grew up in Hastings?
I grew up in Hastings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So always? Is that just your hometown?
I left when I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where'd you go for a while then?
I decided to go in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was a shock to my parents. I was like,
They didn't think you
I
were.
just signed up and I'm going into boot camp in like 3 months.
Oh wow.
So they were shocked.
I bet they were. So was an epiphany that you wanted to do this or
This or
or
going
going to the Army? And why the Army?
I don't know. I'd always wanted to be a soldier. Like,
Okay.
I don't know necessarily where that came from, but I'd always known I wanted to be a soldier, and
Okay.
yeah, I'd be in the Army.
So previous conversations, we know I have two sisters. Did they want to do something like that too?
No.
They did. Okay.
They took a much more normal route.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. So was this something you always wanted to do, one of these stores, or was it a vision? Did you had a vision of the store?
Nope.
Okay.
No, this was a shock to me. Actually, everybody. It's I would say it was a series of unfortunate events
Okay.
that brought me here, and it has been a wonderful series.
Okay.
That
Awesome.
yeah.
So we're just talking Three Pink Elephants. How did that name? That's the name of the stores. How did you come up with that?
I have 2 older sisters, so yes, I'm the baby. I'm spoiled.
No,
It's true.
no.
It's true.
Is it true?
Don't say no to me, Mark. I don't take it well.
Okay, I remember that.
So, so the first sister, she doesn't like to be called the big sister or the oldest sister.
Okay.
So, but we call her number 1. We call her the good one, the responsible one, because, she's the first one. So she always did the right thing. She always does the right thing.
Okay.
Just awful and great because, she helps me out all the time.
Uh-huh.
And so, when she was 49, my other sister and I get this text, and I was in Texas at the time. I was living in Texas.
Okay.
And we get this text. We need to get sister tattoos for my birthday, for my 50th birthday. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, the good one wants a little tattoo. I can't wait to tell her that this was her idea. So I'm thrilled. I'm like, whatever. We'll get a tattoo.
Right,
This is
right.
great. I mean, pretty much anything but a teardrop. We're not gonna do it.
Is that okay?
But
Okay.
we couldn't get our initials because we all start with a K.
Oh yeah.
Just
Okay.
absolutely frowned upon. 3 Ks are just not going to go over well.
No.
But so for a year, these texts go back and forth. We can't agree on anything. The middle sister is absolutely adamant she is not getting a tattoo. She's not doing that. And finally, we're on this text chain, and I say, well, what about 3 elephants? And I've always loved elephants. I had a little stuffed animal when I was little, and I think that's probably where that came from. But, we've always been a really tight herd.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's very little I do without thinking about my sisters.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
they're part of everything.
Yes. See that?
And,
Yes.
So we finally were like, oh, okay, cute. That'd be fun. So, we're thinking like 3 elephants in a little line holding each other's tails. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna get this tattoo. And
Right.
middle sister's still saying absolutely not.
Okay.
And so we go, and my we're drinking a lot of sparkling water.
Yes, it's awesome.
A lot of herbs. So we are going to get this tattoo. The middle sister wasn't with us, but sister number one, we go to get it, and she decided she wanted it on her wrist.
Okay.
She wanted pink ink.
Okay.
And I was like, well, that's nice. It's a little bit more subtle.
Right.
And she sits down, and the tattoo artist says, well, I can't fit all three because your wrist is too tiny.
Okay.
You don't even get how annoying that is.
Is that annoying? Okay.
Like your tiny little wrist, you can't fit 3 little elephants on it. And so we had to just make a game time decision.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to do 1 elephant, 3 hearts. And so that's what we ended up with.
Cool.
I don't know if you can see it. Probably not.
I can see that,
there
yeah.
it is. And the middle sister comes along, and we finally talk her into. Now, this was, we took a sister trip and tried to get her to go. I think we were at Galveston.
Okay. Oh,
we tried to get her to go to this tattoo parlor, and it looked too dirty.
Okay.
And so she has a panic attack. She didn't have a panic attack, but she was ready to stab us.
Wow.
Let's just do it. It's fine. I'm sure it was great. And so at some point, we're all in Hastings together, and we finally talk her into going. And she ends up getting all 3 of those elephants down her arm. So she has all 3 down her forearm. So she took the go big or go home.
It really?
Yeah. You know what? We're going to do this. We're going to do it.
Oh.
And so now we still don't have matching tattoos.
Huh.
That was about the time I was trying to figure out a name for the store.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I was asking.
It's a great name.
I was like, what are we going to name it? And she's like, well, how about the pink elephant? The pink elephant was taken.
Oh, okay.
And then I thought, well, how about 3 pink elephants? Because we really don't do much without each other's input.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a backstory to it.
It's got a long, sometimes I tone it down. I'm like, you know what? This person doesn't look like they might enjoy a tattoo story. So.
No, that's awesome. So, okay. You joined the Army, going back to that. And so how long were you in the Army?
It was a very short stint in the Army. I ended up fracturing my back in basic training.
Oh,
so went down to Fort Leonard Wood, and it was in March, so it was really cold. By the time we graduated, it was already too hot. Gotta love the extremes.
Yeah.
But no, it was I think just the weight of the packs and running. It was a stress fracture.
Yeah.
And so it took a long time to recover from it. It was just something that I couldn't get back in and keep on.
I can't imagine the pain that is probably really. I would think excruciating pain.
It was excruciating.
Yeah, I would think so. So, so do you? And can you help the Army then still, or could you ever go back in any active duty?
No. No.
Okay. Would you ever want to if you could?
Yeah, I would do it over every time.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Every life I have, I hope I make that same choice.
So why the Army over the other branches of the military?
I would say I was 18 and I'd never even been in a plane.
Okay.
So
really?
I'm not going to fly, and also I can't swim. So
okay.
Kind of
eliminated two things. Yes.
Animal.
Yeah. Cool. So, okay, going back to the Dreamcatcher podcast. I always ask, was this your dream? What was your dream growing up?
My dream was to be a soldier.
And I think that is so cool. I mean, because I would say 9 out of 10 people don't go out, life happens, something happens, and they don't ever go after their dreams. So, but you did. So did you have any other dreams?
Yeah, that kind of popped that bubble.
So when did you start getting that dream? Were you really young, or what? Was there something you saw and it's like, I like that?
I don't know. As long as I can remember, that was always just something I just thought, I want to serve my country, and I want to be there, and I want to do what I can.
That's awesome. So on your, I don't know how much square footage you have. This is a big store. So how do you feel this? Do you do the buying yourself, or do you have other people?
No, I do it by myself.
Okay.
And I feel like it's taken me forever to amass this much.
And I can see, there's a lot of product here.
Yeah.
So.
And it's hard 'cause I pay for everything with cash.
Okay.
So I didn't take out any loans.
Just
And
good
so
idea, yes.
it takes a little bit longer, and sometimes people get frustrated because they come in and maybe expect something else, and I'm like, oh, there's only so much I can do.
We've kind of gotten used to that with it's like they change it out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't like chain stores. I like these kind of stores. I like ones with souls.
Yeah.
And we got to show the ceiling again. Yeah, we got to. The ceiling in this place is gorgeous.
Yes.
So and then the wallpaper
Here,
too.
I'll do the
Okay.
pointy tour with my finger here if I can. Okay. So ignore that wallpaper. That looks a little bit rough.
Uh-huh.
It actually had the lowered ceiling in it, so I did not add these wood things. And it's just a little too short to be a second floor.
Yeah, that's true.
So you'd have to
Yeah.
crouch down a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it is
so
gorgeous
once we
in ceiling after.
Yes. Once we pulled out the tiles that were collapsing on us, and all the stuff in there, I was amazed. I was so excited
Yeah,
to see that, and
really,
just honestly relieved. I was like, oh
this
god,
space has so much character.
it
That's really
does.
what
It's
like
so
older
much
older buildings. So,
Yep.
and then we were talking that you have a lot in Glenville.
Yes.
So,
Yep. I have a lot.
So, why Glenville? Why did you get a lot in Glenville?
I don't remember how that happened. I don't know. I'd always wanted. I told my mom a few years back. I was like, you know what I'd like? I would like a parking lot or something like that,
Okay.
and I want to name it an a lot because
I love it.
the lot has a lot of potential.
It does.
And
Yes.
so, however that came to be, I was like, yeah, I will buy that. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing. My dad ended up, maybe 6 months later, the building that's connected or like right butting up next to the lot,
Uh-huh.
came up for sale,
Okay.
and he sniped it out from under me. I was gonna buy it, but he got the call first.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
he took it. But I swear that will be mine.
I
building
hope
will be
that, because I was going to say, does he have other plans? Your competition or something? Or...
He fixed the roof, so I was like,
Oh, did you? Okay, yeah, that,
Like,
that
but
sounds like a win-win.
like whatever you paid for the building originally.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was my first a lot. And then a few months later, this building came up for sale, and I thought, well, that wasn't really my plan, but
mhm.
it's like, maybe. And it had, believe it or not, an a lot next to it
Yes.
that came with it. And so now this one I call the a lot 2.
Okay, I
as
like it.
well.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So right now we're actually we did some excavating and we're clearing that out. We're going to make an event space.
Very cool.
And then in the back we'll have a garden. We're a little bit
Nice.
late planting things. I'm not a gardener. It's a good
There's
thing.
still stuff you can, yep.
Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't like buy a greenhouse. I would be very sad.
Do you like plants?
I don't like
I can think it as no. You had to think about that, and
I don't like taking care of plants.
I'm kind of
I'm
that way
like-
too. I like the idea of it. And it's like, yeah, you got to take care of them and outside weed and water and everything else.
Yes.
So,
My dogs, sometimes I'd be like, oh, they're licking the faucet in the tub. Apparently they need water. No, they will tell me if they need something. And people say plants do, but really by the time I notice,
it's too. Oh, that's pretty good.
Plant body bag.
Yeah, that's awesome. When do you think that you'll have that this summer then?
Yeah, I was hoping that we'd have it in I was hoping by July.
Okay.
Got a little bit behind on it, but
Okay.
yeah, but it's definitely getting there. I'm pretty excited.
No, I mean, so where would you like all this to be in like a few years?
Oh my gosh. I think about that, and at this point in my life, I'm just kind of going with the universe.
Okay,
So if
that's
it
a good way to do
happens,
it.
it happens. I usually I'm like, okay, I can pay the bills. That's cool.
It's always good. Yes.
I hope, I'm making people happy, and like,
Yeah.
people have been incredibly here. So I hope it's still standing. Let's be real. Okay. There was a building right there where the lot is.
Really? Okay.
So if I'm being really honest, I'm hoping it's still standing.
Yeah.
In 3 years.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm sure it will be.
I'm sure it will be too. So how can people find you? Are you online?
I am on Facebook. I have 2 Facebook accounts.
Okay.
I am terrible with social media.
Okay.
Like it is, my goodness. I'm surprised anybody even reads my posts. They're probably like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, they probably but they like to
Or- But yeah, and I have a website.
Okay.
The website's it's hard. It's hard to keep up with it.
It
I don't
is.
Part of the challenge I have with it is like all of my arrangements are unique.
Okay.
So I shouldn't say most, but most of the florists I've met have recipes.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
They'll put 3 of this, 3 of this, 3 of this, and it's out the door.
Really? Okay.
So
I did not realize that.
Pretty
Okay.
much have like, you see the picture, that's what you're going to get.
Okay.
I make all of my stuff unique because I kind of
I
go
think
with
that's
how I'm
awesome.
feeling.
I mean-
And I would say I'm just more of an artist.
Yeah.
Like I feel
Very cool.
like when people call me a florist, I'm like, that's a lie. That's offensive to florists, honestly.
But I think that's kind of neat where you mix the two together. So,
I mean, I feel like you deserve something just different.
yeah.
And your wife deserves something different.
And
than
in
what
that
you're
day and age, or in this day and age, that's so great because everything's homogenized to, like you say. And I think
And
that's
there's absolutely a benefit to that, and everybody has their different style, but
true.
it's hard to capture on a website
I could see that.
because if they see a picture of something they like, then that's what they're going to expect.
Mm.
And I can just say, I half the time I have like 4 flowers in the cooler because I don't know what to expect.
No, I can understand that too.
And where I get most of my flowers, I just tell them like, send me something cool. Like I don't even know what I'm going to get most of the time because
That makes it interesting though.
I love opening up the box and I'm like,
That Christmas.
what is that? It is. It's so awesome. But yeah, I never know.
So, do you do art outside of this? I mean, do you do painting, don't paint, or
No,
nothing like that? Sculptures or nothing like that?
no,
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe that's you have an Instagram account.
No, see?
Because that would be where you could showcase all your stuff. That gets really good with the photos there and
Yeah.
stuff.
So that's my next, like, if I were to, ideally, there's more than just me doing this, but I hope to hire somebody soon, but I need to hire somebody that has that skill, the
Sure.
social media, because
Yep.
I have never been on social media until I started doing this.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm
Well,
very
you were
much
holdout then.
Yeah,
That's awesome,
I'm
though.
like, I don't, it's just never been my thing. I've
Yeah.
been very private.
I like that actually.
Like,
It's
so,
refreshing, actually.
yeah, it's probably been one of the hardest parts about doing this is
Yeah.
being the face of this. And
Yes.
I'm like, and everybody asks you stuff and you're like,
I can understand. It is weird.
so
It took me a while, and my wife still does not like. I mean, every once in a while she does a podcast with me. She's like, "They don't want to see me," and it's like, "Yes, they do."
yes, they do.
And she's like, "No, they don't."
You're like, not today.
And that's what she's saying. So, but now I've gotten to the point where we're doing enough of these, and then Facebook, and I just like take it or leave it. I don't care anymore. So.
Yeah.
But it is strange. It's your whole life's on there, and it's just, or too much of your life's on there. I think sometimes for people that is their whole life.
Yeah.
And so, are you thinking about adding even more products to this, like this store?
Yeah.
Or probably the other one too.
Yep. I'll definitely get into more products. I recently got my liquor license.
Okay.
So I've added, luckily I have a friend that owns the wine and cheese shop. And so
Yeah.
he helps me with my lists and he does amazing
He
things
would
for me.
he'd give you
Yes.
a great list.
Yes. And so he actually came out last night and we taught Wine 101. It's our first
very
class out
cool.
here. And it was really cool because one of my other thoughts with this building is I wanted to be able to switch it quickly into a venue.
Okay, that's an
So-
awesome idea. I like
Yeah.
that.
So
Really
everything I
well.
have is like, I have a hard time committing to like shelves on the wall. Or
Okay.
anything like really
Sure.
permanent.
Right.
Because I'm like, I don't know. I still don't see the big picture, but I know I want it to be able to move quickly.
I think that's great to have it that way, so you can change things out very quickly.
And it was
So-
awesome. Last night we had 4 tables in here, which pretty much the ones that you're in here with.
Okay.
And, we had 20 people were
Good
in here
turnout.
comfortably.
Okay.
Yeah, we sold out of the class, and we were able. I think everybody hopefully was. Nobody said they weren't comfortable.
I bet they
I mean, their butts might have hurt. Mikey talks a lot.
Yeah.
It was fun.
But no, I'm sure it was. So how often, or maybe you don't even know, how often will you do that? Or I mean, that's going to be a running thing, or is it
Yes.
just okay?
Yep, I hope to just do that frequently. And I
Okay.
think the feedback I got, I mean, people, you could just see their faces, and it was so much fun. And that was something, for years I lived out in Canyon Lake, Texas. It's
Okay.
between San Antonio and Austin.
Okay.
And so it's about an hour from each one. But, I always want to do classes or go, just go to the store and grab something.
Yes.
And it was your entire day, and
Yep.
so I just thought, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to be out,
Yep.
slightly more rural
Right.
area,
Yes. Yes.
I want to just be able to offer stuff that,
Yeah.
you know,
Stuff that really
yeah.
isn't offered out in this area. So, and,
the stuff I have in here, you're not going to find in the grocery store and the gas station.
mhm.
Because one, I can't compete.
Yeah. No.
Also, why would I have it?
Yeah.
There's the gas station right there.
Yeah. And you don't want to compete,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, personality wise, or I mean, and it's just, I keep looking and I see popcorn. I mean, you have a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, it's
And mugs, and I guess those are like purses or what?
yeah, they're the rubber tote bags.
Tote bags, yes.
Yeah.
So you just see that, and then it's like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
So do your sisters help you with purchasing?
They actually, my number one.
Okay.
She,
Okay.
She looks at social media a little bit more than I do, and she'll be like, "Look at this. This is cute." And so she might kick it over to me, and I'll be like, "Nah." I don't know. But yeah, usually it's stuff I've used in the past that I thought, I love this product. It's, I'm gonna keep using it. Hopefully other people, will enjoy it as much as I have.
Okay.
And then, I mean, I have the herbs that are the drops up there on that shelf.
Oh, okay. I see.
Those are things I used in the past when I was
Nice.
project manager. And
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't sleep because it was just so stressful. And
Yeah.
I used that company and it was amazing. So
Nice.
I can absolutely, everything I have in here, I can just say that, I fully
And
endorse it.
that is so great. I mean, that is because the people just bring them in and they don't even have any idea what the product's really like. So that's even better when they shop here. So,
I just want them to come in and just be able to talk to somebody and
Yes.
ask about it and,
yes.
have that knowledge.
So what are your hours at this store? Does it vary?
They're pretty consistent. On Mondays, I just started opening at noon,
Okay.
noon to 6.
Okay.
We have, I don't know if you've ever seen my post with Bub, the dog.
Huh, I don't think so.
Bub. All
Okay.
right, so it's my sister's dog.
Okay.
But Bub has declared Mondays Cuddle Mondays. So
Nice dog.
he likes to sleep in and he jumps in bed with me and so I was
I would like that dog.
based on Bub cuddling with me on Mondays, we are now opening at noon. So
What kind of dog is he?
he is a sheepdog poodle mix. So he's a big boy. I
So-
still have a sign over here that says shop dog in training to warn people because he is kind of shocking to see.
Well,
Um,
but he seems like he's an awesome dog.
He's a
And
good
with that big a dog, you kind of got to do what he wants to do anyway, don't you?
yeah. Especially you're like, oh, he's so furry and soft.
I bet.
Yeah, he's stuck in face in.
How old is he?
He's, I think, 4.5 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still pretty young there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but he's made a lot of friends here. He's kind of got his own cult following out here. He goes to the bank with me and
Does he?
he sits at the teller window very patiently while I get change, and he'd go in the post office and say hi, and
he sounds like a very social dog. I don't know. I like him.
and he loves the bus.
Oh, does he?
Absolutely loves the bus. So he can see out the door.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I
He
could
just thinks that's the best thing ever.
So,
So
okay. People, arrangements, do you deliver?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far do you deliver?
I have a pretty good range. I mean, I've gone down to Superior.
Oh, wow.
I go into Hastings. So it just depends on, if I have the flowers, the time. But the florists in the area have been so receptive. So
Very cool.
Cami over in Superior, Lisa over in Geneva. I mean, over in Aurora, the gals. I mean, and they'll call me if there's something closer, and I mean,
That I
that's-
like.
Yeah.
Collaboration there.
Yeah.
That's always good.
And then Hastings, Cassie over at at Brenda's, and then Jossie over at Perfect Gift.
Okay.
Like they've helped me. Like Jossie was one of the first people just to kind of help me guide me through. I had a funeral thing, and she was just kind of guiding me through
That's
there.
pretty cool.
It
There's
was
more
really
of that
cool.
going on in today's world.
I mean,
There's more.
they're just very receptive. So it makes it really nice when you can just say, "Hey, I'm running
Yes.
into this," and
Yeah.
you know, there's somebody that has your back out there.
Yeah, and that's worth so much.
Yeah.
So can you do arrangements in your Hastings store?
I don't have a cooler there.
Okay, I didn't think you did. I
I'll
was wondering.
generally
Okay.
deliver them there and
Okay.
maybe meet somebody or drop it off on my way into town.
But no, you've got a large area that
Yeah.
you can do that.
Yeah,
So-
it does. There are days where I'll be gone half the day doing
could see
deliveries.
that.
So
And you do the deliveries yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
that could be a challenge too, because then I have to close the store. So
Yeah.
so I'm still trying to find that
Well,
balance.
there is a balance. It definitely is.
Yeah.
I can see that too. So do you decorate a lot for Christmas?
You know, it was probably a little disappointing for people
Okay.
around Christmas. It's hard for me to like prepare for seasons.
I can definitely
Like,
understand
I have to
that.
kind of feel it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's cold out, and it's 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
But apparently, people expect like, oh, it's
Uh-huh.
Thanksgiving, and
Yeah,
you better
that's
be ready.
pretty much anymore. That's exactly right. We go.
But, yeah, but I do. I love decorating. Last year when we did the 4th of July, Play Center has an amazing 4th of July.
Oh,
Like,
really?
the whole town is
Did
just
not know that.
so many activities. I mean, it's
Okay.
super cool.
Check that out there.
And so, yeah, we're actually going to put the bus in the parade.
Okay.
I'm very excited. But yeah, so last year, my sister, she is a god with balloon arches and
Okay.
anything balloons. Like,
Right.
who knew she had that talent? I didn't know I could do flowers, and she didn't know
Uh-huh.
she could do balloons.
Uh-huh.
And so she had the whole front of the store covered with balloons. Like,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was so windy that day. We were
Oh.
chasing balloons down
Yes,
the
you
street.
were. Oh, that's
People
too
were
bad.
bringing us balloons.
That's
We're like,
not good.
oh, yes, I got that. But so it's always an adventure. We have so much fun.
And that is on the 4th of July, then actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's great. They have so many events, a couple of fundraisers. Like they have one of their big ones. They sell pies.
Nice. Pie's always good.
Yes. The Critter Care, the veterinarian over here, this
Okay.
is her 30th year.
Wow.
So they
That's a
will
long
be
time.
celebrating. I think they're going to have a watermelon feed.
Watermelon's always, that's definitely,
Refreshing.
yeah.
Mm.
No, that's one thing I do like about summer. I mean, I don't like humidity, but that's,
I know. I'm like, I'll sit here and watch.
No. So is it, before we end the podcast, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience?
Oh my gosh, there's probably 1,000 things I'll think of after.
I can understand that too. So, but,
Yeah.
you know,
I think more than anything, it's I just appreciate people being so kind. I mean, people in this area are so
They are,
kind, and they have given me a chance. And you know, they've been really receptive, and that was probably not the easiest thing.
Yeah.
You know, just
and that's why I like this area so much, because they do. If you're in a city, you'd just be another store,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't.
Yep.
You get the personal touch,
yeah.
and
People
that's
have
why-
faith in me, and
that's why I like to feature people like you. I mean, no, you're making people's day, and you know, you're doing so much awesome stuff here at all your stores, and can't wait to see what the lot is.
I have some ideas. I'm very excited.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I think that
That's kind of
is.
what I
Yes. So, but no, I mean, you're making people's lives better. So, and that's always good.
It's just
It's always
yeah,
very good. So
it's amazing. Like
it is.
I don't know. It feels good. Like I feel like I'm in the right place where I don't know if I was supposed to be here earlier or not, but it's
I think probably you're probably right where you're supposed to
Yep.
be.
I told
I
my
would
mom,
believe
I'm
that.
like, I'm following the universe and we're having fun.
Yes, and that is always great. So,
Yep.
did your mom help?
She does.
Okay.
She comes over. She loves making bouquets.
Okay,
She loves it. Usually she opens the door, she comes back there and grabs the broom and cleans up after me.
Okay, that's good.
Cleans the whole area.
Uh-huh.
It's just what she does. And then she starts
Awesome.
making bouquets because her goal is to always fill the cooler.
Okay.
And so,
Okay.
but we have a lot of fun.
Nah, that sounds like, I mean, win-win all the way along.
Yeah.
Family, you know,
Yes.
and you don't get your dad in here.
He's not a flower guy.
Isn't he a flower guy?
Believe it or not. I know it's weird.
Do you have stuff from men in here?
I do. I
Okay.
have, well, whiskey. I have
Oh.
knives.
You really? Okay.
I do. I have Cobra Tech knives, and they have a lifetime warranty. They're
Nice.
really high
Okay.
quality. I love
Okay.
them. And then, what else? I had something else. Whiskey, knives. Oh,
Whiskey. Okay. Really? Okay.
yeah. I carry a lot of the Nebraska beers.
Awesome. I'm glad I asked you that because I did not realize that.
Yes.
So, no, for all you guys, I mean, you gotta.
What's up, guys? And that's every time a guy comes in to get, flowers for a birthday, and they're like,
Exactly.
I'm like, I have beer. You want a beer?
Yeah.
About half the time, they're like, yes.
I bet that. I bet that'd be a great draw.
Yes.
So maybe it's a draw.
One of my recent posts, I think it was for Father's Day. I have whiskey, knives, and beer. Like, what do you want?
Whiskey's good. Do you like whiskey and beer?
I'm learning to like beer. I've found quite a few of these Nebraska ones that I've really.
Yeah, there are some pretty good in the.
Yeah.
And my wife and I do the wineries and stuff like that in the state too. And have you ever been on the passport yet? Probably not.
I have not.
Would that be something you'd want to do one year?
I really hope to.
Okay.
Yep. I applied last year, but I think, the universe was like, okay, you are not ready.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
And so I'm.
And I don't know what that entails to get on that either. So, but that's always a fun thing.
It's
I
been
know.
fun. Well, even when I'm over at Wine and Cheese, they're currently on the passport, and I'll be in the back in my little shop and just talk to. It's so much fun talking to people, and they're just so excited. They're so excited to be there and like see what you have in there and look at the stores and I just get a lot of energy from people.
No. It's kind of like when Nicole at Bryant's bookstore. She was just opening the box, and she's like, "Here's one of them." She says, "Look happy." And then she's my picture. It's like, okay. She says, "You're my first one." And 1 minute after, and it's like, okay, that was a surprise when I came in. Oh, but no, yeah, it is. I love that store. But she's very. So, but no, Cheryl and I love to do the passport. We've done that quite a few years.
Yep.
It's an awesome way to see so much of the state.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. And I mean, it's amazing. There's so much talent, and there's just so much to offer. There's so much out there, and I'm so glad
and it's just like, don't dismiss Nebraska. Nebraska or any of the plain states, the flyover states, as they say.
Yeah.
There's so much here.
Yeah. And they're some of the nicest people.
They are.
Always made me mad, like in Austin. Everybody's like, "You are so nice here." I'm like, "You don't know what nice is."
No.
Nebraska is full of nice people.
I was at the Y the other day in Hastings, and this gal, I didn't realize she was from San Francisco, and we were talking. I was talking with another guy and she's like, "You guys are nice." I came from San Francisco. She said Nebraska's nice, and it's like, okay, I have to believe it then. So and then another person, he's like, Nebraskans like to talk. It's like, probably, but that's a good thing. Like when I was talking to the gal over at the library a little bit ago, she's like, we just need to get people out here to realize that there's so much more here.
There is.
In addition to like libraries we were talking about too. So.
And you know what? Not too long after you left this afternoon, the director at the Geneva Library came over.
Oh, really? Okay.
Met her. I was outside blowing bubbles. I mean, that's a normal thing to do. And so she joined me in blowing bubbles.
That's cool.
I love it. When we get done, we're going to go blow bubbles, because how long has it been since you've been blowing bubbles?
I don't even remember. Yeah. I remember doing it as a kid, yes.
These are the things that are important.
They are. Yeah. I think that would help a lot of people if they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because they're so wound up in this country.
Just take a second.
It's just like, you need to get that inner child that's still there, because, it is. Some people have it very buried, but it is. And, life's short.
Yeah.
And do that stuff. And if somebody cares what you do, don't care. Just don't care if they don't like it. So it's another business anyway.
I watched my mom and my aunt. I drew a hopscotch thing out.
Did you? Okay. Cool.
And they both did hopscotch.
Awesome.
And I was shocked.
Yep.
I mean, I'd probably be sore if I did hopscotch. I'd be like, oh my God, I can't go for a week.
Especially the next morning, yes.
Yes. I hung over.
Yeah. What did I do? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
But now I had somebody the other day say, "You're just a big kid." It's like, thank you.
Absolutely. You just have to, I don't know. I'm glad I feel like I've found joy.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know.
And that's what we
loved
need.
The work I did before, it was stressful. I can't say I loved it. I mean, I liked it.
You need to be enjoying what you're doing.
But
Too many people,
so lucky I can do
yeah, too many people don't enjoy what they're doing.
it.
And then that's, they go for the money, getting out of school, and they do the traditional, which in this day and age still amazes me, go to college or, and then we get out and get the job and because it makes money and it's like, is that what you wanted? No, but it has good money. And it's like, well, I guess, money is necessary in today's society, but a lot of times if you're doing stuff that you're passionate, it doesn't feel like work. And a lot of times you bring a lot of money in. So,
well, I'm waiting for that part.
We'll get there.
I hope so.
100% know you will.
Like,
You will. Especially when it seems like it is your passion, because I can feel the passion from this, and people will definitely pick up on it. So,
love it.
well, I just trying to get more and more people. This is like, and then this stuff. It's just like, shouldn't you be thinking about retiring? It's like, I'm never retiring. No, forget your age and do whatever you want. No, man, as long as I'm able to, I'm going to keep learning new stuff. Skydive. Cheryl does not want to skydive. She said she'd be on the ground with a bottle of wine, and she's like, yeah. She says, I don't want to die.
They'd have to use the jaws of life to pry my hands off the plane.
I think they might, me too. But there's so many things out there that are fun. Or doing podcasting. It's like you're starting a podcast now. It's like,
it's cool.
Why not?
Yeah.
So, no, I think everybody should have a podcast. So, but do you have anything else you'd like to share before I end?
Can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us on the Dreamcatcher Podcast. And I look forward to watching your journey. I mean, because you've already got a great start. So, and I would like to meet your sisters too. You sound like that would
do an episode 2.
Okay, that would be awesome. I can have up to 8 people. So we'd have to get the internet to work. I don't know either, but it depends. Just I don't know. Some days. So, but we'll end it there. And thank you, and have a good evening.